WCSM's General Store is recorded at 70X7 Studio. WCSM is brought to you by Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center. Christine Flynn, your local Farmers Insurance agent. For Good Reasons Roofing, your local hometown roofing specialist. And by Sanders Insurance, your local independent insurance experts. And now, WCSM's crew.
So true. Hi!
Hello.
Okay, let's get with it here. We're on. We're live.
Are we?
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us at WCSM's General Store from the 70X7 studio. Bill could not be with us today. In fact, I think he's out for a couple weeks, and of course, we miss having him here. And I don't quite know how this is going to work with him not being here because he talks quite a bit and kind of really keeps the conversation going.
Right,
so
right.
it might be.
I've actually been asked about that before, and in his contract, he gets paid by the word, so we had to keep that.
Kind of had to tamp him down a little bit.
At a level, right.
Out.
Right.
Out.
So, what is this? Some type of Midwest?
I can't believe.
Spell it.
E-L-T.
Okay, mine is W-E-L-P.
Welp. Okay, yeah, right. Okay.
It's the same as elp.
Well, yeah, so
Okay.
So yeah, like I don't know if it was my mom or my grandma or maybe my aunt, but somebody on that side of the family, I think, that's what they, instead of saying, well, you know, they'd always say out. So E-L-T. Well, at some point, I think I probably said that, and Griffin
Picked it up.
and
Okay.
now Griffin wields it like a weapon, really. Which is what Griffin does. Out. So that's kind of his favorite word now, which now he's got me saying it all the time.
Right.
Out. Or,
Wasn't ELT a band in the 70s?
ELO.
Oh, ELO.
Or a BLT is a sandwich. It's neither of those. It's
Neither of
ELT.
those.
Out.
ELT.
Okay, so if you're watching...
My dad beat me with a bell.
Out. Now, if you're watching right now,
Probably had it coming
and
up
there
every
was
time.
a word like that from you growing up that was like a, you know, that catchword or that catchphrase or the word that your mom or your dad or your grandparents always went to, you know, post it below. We want to see what all the rest of, because there's probably a bunch of funny ones and probably some that our families use too that maybe we're not thinking of, but that's out. Oh, another one is sheesh. That was one my aunt would sheesh. She'd say that all the time. So
My great grandmother would say, "Oh, lands."
Oh, see, I love that. I love stuff like that.
LANDS. I
Yes.
think. I don't know where that came from, but
I say that.
maybe land's sake. I've heard people say land's sake.
Land's sake. Yeah,
Okay,
that's probably
land's
it.
sake.
I say that a lot, so I don't use the Lord's name. I don't like OMG. I don't like my God.
Yeah.
I don't really even like to say
It's disrespectful.
gosh, because it's kind of a slang for that.
right.
But I will say, oh my goodness, or oh my word, or oh my lands. I do
Right.
say that one.
My
but,
grandmother used to get in the car and she'd say, Lords of mercy, who all's in here?
Oh,
Every
that's
time.
a cute
That's
one.
what she'd say every time she get in the car. It's always the same people.
Yeah.
Lords of mercy.
Lords of mercy.
That's so cute. Well, Lords of Mercy, tell us about our top fans.
Yeah, we've got quite a few.
Who all we got in here?
Who all's in here anyhow?
Land's sake. We've got Ronnie Deckard with 313 points. He's on a 5-week streak. Ronnie
Wow.
Deckard is. Thank you very much, Ronnie Deckard, for your loyalty. John Baker coming in at number 2. John Hooker right behind him. Rena Westfalt, Fritzy Phillips, Jane Hanser, Robert Lutz, Danny Todd, Robert Hamros, Jackie Ratz, and Diane Critchlow. So to round that out. So still plenty of folks on there. And again, these
Appreciate you so much.
This is the Facebook selection committee. This is not us.
That's right.
If you did not
We're
make
totally
it,
impartial.
we
Well,
are.
and I just have to say,
We like all our
if you
equal.
want to be a top fan and hear your name coming out of Kurt Durnall's face, then I would encourage you to
It's not
interact.
discouraged.
I would encourage you to interact with us more because that's how they gauge it, is your interaction level.
That's all they can go by is
Yeah.
the likes,
Or your comments or whatever. What
right.
have
Or
you. So-
shares. Share
Yes.
a lot.
Shares are nice.
Yeah.
Shares are nice. We like shares.
Yeah.
We like shares a lot.
Yes,
So,
we do.
and don't forget, we're on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and then of course Apple Podcasts,
Right.
Spotify,
Yes, Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts. We're on
Wow.
all of those.
Really,
So-
anywhere that you can get a podcast, we're going to be on it. So
And
if
I'm
you look
just-
for us.
And let me tell you, podcasts are like blowing up. Like podcasts are really the wave of the future, so to speak. A lot of people don't get their news anymore from mainstream media for a reason. And
What do you mean?
I'll just leave it at that. And so, but podcasts, I can remember just a few years ago, podcasts were really just kind of getting started and
Right.
kind of, you'd hear people talk about them. But typically, if you would join or listen to a podcast, for one thing, it was audio only. It was only audio,
Yeah.
and they were only about 20, 30 minutes. That has changed. So podcasts are now, and I really think it might have been the Duck Dynasty Robertson
I was gonna
family.
say, that's the first one I knew.
I can remember, I think they were the first ones that added that YouTube, the video element,
Right.
because they had already been on television. And so instead of just being a podcast, their fans wanted to see them, and I think that's really where the video or YouTube element came into it, which I love. I watch all my YouTube or all my podcasts, and that's all I watch. I'm on YouTube all the time watching podcasts and getting my news and what have you. And they've also, it's all called what's called long form now. So most podcasts are at least an hour now, at least an hour, and some of them are a couple hours,
Wow.
which is awesome. I love that. I can just turn my YouTube to my some of my favorite podcasts and just let it roll while I'm sewing or whatever. So the reason I'm saying this is we're still really trying to get a foothold into that market. So, we love that you watch us on Facebook, but if you could just branch out a little bit, hop over to the podcast platforms or to our YouTube channel, which is the same, WCSM's General Store, and follow us there, subscribe, like, share, comment there, all those things. Give us a review on the podcast platforms. All of that stuff helps us get noticed by people who aren't in Monroe County or Bloomington.
Right.
So, because if they go onto a podcast platform and they're searching for, we want to something that's got some good news or local or hometown feel or
Right.
whatever, conservative or faith-based or whatever it is, they're searching. If you have given a review or a like or a share and interacted with us there, that helps put us into that almost algorithm
Search engine.
or search engine where people can, we might come up as an option for them and we can find new people that way, because we really do just want to share. It's fun for us to be a podcast that really laughs at ourselves and each other and really kind of we try to be lighthearted, and we'll talk about some serious things, but for the most part, we like to have fun, and there's not a lot of that going on in the world right now.
No,
So
you're right. Right.
that's kind of our mission. So we would love that if you could go and check out all of the platforms. Right? Yes.
Jimmy Dean would call that a shameless plug, by the way, what you just did.
Yes.
But I'm good with it.
No shame at all. I don't
None.
feel the
Okay.
Yeah, if we don't promote ourselves, who's gonna?
Right.
That's right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and it looks like it's going to be me. So that's okay though. That's okay, because I think what we do is, it's not only fun, but we feel like it's important. We kind of feel like this was a God-led mission. So
No question.
for sure. Well, and so now this is going to be a little bit of a heavier topic today, because this is actually something that happened. So I don't know how many of you actually do watch the news. Unfortunately, you've probably seen in the last year, and in fact, so many other things are so much worse now that you don't even hear about this much anymore. But I know it's still happening, and that's carjackings. And I think a lot of the reason why, and you can speak to this, and I'm going to let you hear in a minute because you actually have a personal experience with this. But I think one of the reasons it's not being talked about so much now as it was, for one thing, it was happening so much and it was so dangerous. I think it was shocking to people. But then they would report their car being stolen and nothing would happen. They would call the police and they were like, well, whatever. So that actually, so before we go to break, I'm going to have you just kind of set the scene a little bit. We'll take a break and you come back and tell us like actually what happened. So when was it, what happened, and kind of get us in the place.
About 6 months ago, my son decided he wanted to go to Akron, Ohio to visit a girl. And he drove a Kia, which that's a big part of the story because Kias are very, I guess, according to YouTube videos, they show you how to start them, break in, how to start them. And so he had a Kia Forte. And when he was over there the first night, he went over for the weekend. The first night, it was stolen.
The very first night?
The very first night.
Like within hours of him pulling in, probably.
Yep. Conveniently, he was parked at a hotel parking lot, and it was not in the camera range, of course. And
not that would have stopped
anybody. Would have stopped it.
No.
But,
no, and he didn't know where to park.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
You pull in, you find a parking spot, and you pull in.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, he calls me and tells me car's gone. I said, well, you need to call the police, and the police, he gets a hold of them, and they say, oh, you'll get your car back. I'm like, what? I've been a trooper for so many years, and when a car gets stolen, and Kurt, you can attest to this also, I think. We've talked about this before. We very rarely got a car back that was stolen. Am I?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did you ever? I mean, I recovered stolen cars, but not from a case that I was working.
Right.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Yeah. So usually
they will show up.
Yeah.
Whether it's at the bottom of a lake, or whether it's in another crime.
Sometimes sometimes they'll leave them at Walmart.
Very hard to actually get rid of a car,
right?
Where it's never seen again,
right?
So,
but some of them do go to metal places and they grind them down and whatever. But you very rarely see the car right away.
I don't think there's as much money in that though.
But the police officer, when I spoke to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, you'll get your car back."
And so that was like
very
to you was
extremely confident.
Yeah.
And that to you was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, exactly. And it was very inconvenient for me because I'm on the way to Kentucky on another trip. It's a weekend, and they do recover it, and they call me, and I'm like, so they say that we got your car. I'm like, okay,
great,
that's good, I guess. And he says, yeah, but we have to take it to
impound it
our tow yard, and we need cash. And it has to be $300 or something like that on a Sunday. And so
were you already on the road?
They said, oh, it's in good condition. It's in good condition.
Were you on the road? So you were driving toward Kentucky when this happened.
Yeah.
And Bryce is in Ohio. His car's gone, and he needs $300 in cash.
So I'm trying, before they recovered the car, I'm trying to get him home. It's because I'm thinking, he's got to get back.
Right.
So I'm getting him a Greyhound bus ticket back to Indianapolis so I can pick him up and things of that nature. I mean, it's just a whirlwind because I've never personally been the victim of a carjacking, and hopefully no one else is in this room or in our audience. If you are, though, it's a pain. Let me tell you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so that's kind of the setting the scene. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back and hear the rest of this unbelievable story coming up on The General Store. I mean, it's your insurance, but then your insurance goes up.
Local Farmers Insurance agent Christine Flynn put her experience to work for you. Christine Flynn proudly serves Monroe, Lawrence, and Greene County families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905 to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center is the place that you need to go to keep your car running in perfect order. On the outside chance your car is not running in perfect order, Chad's has a shop over on State Road 46 in Ellisville that'll give you a free estimate and reasonable rates and get your car back on the road. Now, to keep it that way, you need to hightail it over to Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center located at 1357 South Liberty Drive. You know exactly where that is. That's just right around the corner from Menards. Now, check this out. Every 7th oil change is free. That's right. Absolutely free. I don't think you can get any better than that. Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center, 1357 South Liberty Drive in Bloomington.
Just want to talk a little bit about our newest sponsor, partner here at the General Store, For Good Reasons Roofing. They're a family-owned company, and they serve South Central Indiana. Have you ever needed a good roofing company? You want somebody that you can trust? For Good Reasons is your local source for professional roof replacement, storm damage repair, and gutter installation service. They're founded on 4 simple principles: honesty, integrity, quality, and kindness. When you choose For Good Reasons, you're going to know you're in good hands from start to finish, from their transparent price quotes to their commitment to offering the highest quality products and the after installation that follows. They don't just install and leave. They're going to be back to follow up. For Good Reasons is the professional roofing company you've been looking for and can trust. Give them a call, 812-360-4469, or visit them on the web at forgoodreasons.com. That's the number 4, goodreasons.com, and tell them the crew at the General Store sent you.
Okay, welcome back. The second part of the show. And so Mark was just telling us the story about when his son Bryce's car got carjacked, stolen out of the parking lot of a hotel he was staying in Akron, Ohio. So at this point where you left off, you were headed south to Kentucky. Bryce was still stuck in Ohio. They did find his car pretty quickly. So what was the turnaround time on that, you think?
I think they found it 24 to 36 hours. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. It's been 6 months ago. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
They just left it alongside the street somewhere.
Really?
Yep.
That's probably a habit, and police officers see that.
They probably run until it runs out of fuel.
That's probably.
Or they're just
stolen car.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it, they didn't park it properly or where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
supposedly,
the law-abiding people
they follow it on their cameras in their city.
Huh.
Supposedly, that's what happened.
So
you say that suspiciously, Mark.
I don't know.
Is there something? Your tone is
that
giving
good.
off.
Why don't you just go pick them up before they dump it?
Right. If you can follow them on the camera through the city and you know where they're at.
I don't know what all happened on that, but it just seems hokey, to me. And maybe everything was totally legit, but it just seems fishy to me.
And the cops didn't really care. Oh yeah, here's your car. Yeah, it's back. That you got it back, and
but you'll have to pay cash to get it back.
But you got to pay to get it out of.
Bryce had a credit card. I'd say just go get it. You put it. No.
No, they had to have cash.
Yeah.
That's not
suspicious at all. On the way to Kentucky with my 84, now she's 85, 84-year-old mother, she's having to listen to all this phone conversation, which if you've ever driven in Kentucky, cell phone service is kind of sketchy, up and down some hollers. So dealing with this, I'm getting Renata to find a Western Union in town. I've always heard of Western Union, never had to use it, but we did have to use it. And on a Sunday, you have to find one that's open.
Wow.
It's Kroger South is where.
If anybody wants to know.
Just in case.
Needs one.
There you go.
Kroger South in Bloomington. I guess they were very friendly and nice.
Wow.
And we're able to do it. And then, of course, not only you have to find one in Bloomington, now you got to find one in Akron, and Bryce has got to find a ride
to get there.
Because he doesn't have a ride. Yeah. So he has to Uber or whatever to all the locations. So he has to go get the money. He has to go to the police station. Then he has to go to the tow yard where he has the receipt to prove that he paid for the car. And the tow yard's not by the police station.
My word.
So,
So
with that. And after he gets the car.
So first they call you and say, we found the car. This is where it's at. It's going to take $300 to get it out. Oh, but it's in good shape. It's in good shape.
Yeah.
That's what they told
That's
you.
what
Okay.
I was told.
So Bryce was there handling it by himself. So when he went to get the car and saw the car, what was his reaction
he said
to
it's
it?
got it had clothing in it from the people. It had a bunch of burnt marijuana in the tray, and then one of them left a cell phone in the vehicle.
Left the cell phone.
Left his
not Bryce's cell phone, but
his own cell phone. Like so,
Bryce did
one
have
of the
a lot
guys who
things that
stole
were
the
stolen
car.
out of the car. I can't remember all the personal products that he did have.
One of the guys though that stole the car left his cell phone in the car.
Correct. So I asked if they were going to process the car for evidence, and like, oh no, we won't do that because the prosecutor won't. They would riot in the streets if we go after anybody here.
Wow. So
that was my reaction. I'm like, really?
I'm telling you what, this country has gone to hell in a handbasket.
We're just upside down, aren't we?
Who's the bad guy here?
It's unbelievable.
I'm not sure. So prosecutors have nothing to do with it. They're not even going to touch it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
That's what I was told. No.
So then.
So Bryce drives it back. I said, "Is it drivable?" He says, "I think so." He says it does have damage on both wheels. Were what they do is they skirt them on the curbs, and to make flames come up.
Oh
come
no,
up.
You're kidding!
So they ruined his wheels on both sides. The tires were both ruined. And then they did damage to that entire side, But then they also do dances on the hood of the car. So the hood of the vehicles
just caved in?
Caved in, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
See, what they do is the same place that they got the information on how to steal the vehicles also shows them how to make live videos so you can show your prize video that you on your stolen car, and they make the videos as they're driving and laughing and cutting up.
Unbelievable.
It's despicable.
It is because these people,
and they won't. TikTok.
You go out and work hard to have these things,
yes,
and to provide your family with these things. And there are people like this out there that they don't even care.
No, they have.
They don't care.
And they've asked why TikTok won't take them down or do anything about it, and they say, "Well, we can't prove it's not really their car." They could be doing that for fun, saying it's a stolen car.
Unbelievable.
Have a right to show.
So that's what these kids are doing. They're just stealing them for a joyride and for a TikTok viral video.
Probably underage. Probably under 18. Probably 15, 16-year-old kids.
Probably not even licensed drivers.
Probably not. I know the cell phone that we recovered, he was not 18.
Wow. So
his family may have received some phone calls.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So how'd that go? So when he got home and you had the cell phone,
So it was more than just a burner phone because he had all these contacts.
Oh no, he had all
the
contacts in there. I called his mom.
I bet him got a whooping. You're gonna steal a car and then you're gonna leave the phone in the car.
I bet he didn't get a whooping.
No, probably not.
Yeah, he hadn't had
because
a
he
whooping
probably
all his
doesn't
life.
have a dad in the house.
Well, he didn't.
He
hasn't had a whooping all his life, obviously. So,
but I informed them that your kid's out stealing cars, and I don't care. I don't know if you care or not, but it makes me upset. And you may get visits, you may not. Who knows?
You did?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
boy, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Boy, it did sound good. I was like, yeah. Secretly, I was like, yes.
No.
Yes.
No, but I did inform all the family members I could find the phone that he is a thief, and you've done well raising a nice thief. So,
what was their retort back to you? Anything at all?
They didn't believe me. They were like, "You're lying. This is why you called me on this phone," and they thought it was still him.
No, because your kid's dumb enough to leave it in the vehicle he stole.
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
I don't know what I'd be more proud of is the fact that your kid stole the car or that he was stupid enough to leave his phone in the car that he stole.
Right.
I don't know. Pick one.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So the steering was messed up. The wheels were messed up. The sides of the car were messed up. The hood was dented in.
Was it total?
Interior, no.
Oh.
About approximately $5,000.
Wow.
So.
Which goes against your insurance.
Which goes against us because it's our vehicle and, it is what it is.
Good.
Unbelievable. So this is happening across the nation. This is not just a single incident. I mean, it's happening everywhere. People, I can't remember now because Tucker Carlson actually did an episode on this when he was still at Fox News about carjackings and the percentage that carjackings went up. And this has been probably a year ago that he did this. It was unbelievable, the number of carjackings, the percentage that it had risen because they're not being prosecuted.
I don't think we talked about this yet. We talked during the break. The city of Chicago does not prosecute, but they're suing Kia for making the cars that are so easily to be stolen.
Right.
Correct.
Because it's Kia's fault. No, it's not your.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really
Kia.
bad in Detroit, too, is another area. DC's really bad.
Mm-hmm. The Kia, of course, is the easy one, so it shows them. It must be extremely easy to power up. I don't know how they do it, but I haven't watched the video. But yeah. So they made it. They have corrected that since, supposedly.
Kia has.
Yeah.
Well, because they didn't want to get sued.
They want to get sued. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now, so this is kind of along the same storyline. I think we all understand that we're being invaded at the southern border by illegal immigrants. It's not a migration; it's an invasion, and these people are coming in from every place under the sun. But I don't know if you all have seen this story. This guy was from Venezuela. He came to the United States illegally, had a child once he got here, got on TikTok and was like bragging about this was his golden ticket. His daughter, beautiful daughter. Of course, he's speaking in Hispanic, but people are, translating what he's saying. He's basically saying to other people, come here. You can just walk right in to the United States. Come here. When you get here, have a child. And once you have a child, they can't make you leave. This is my beautiful golden ticket. And then this same guy, now he's becoming viral on TikTok, right? So then he gets on TikTok and does this whole video about squatting, going and finding. He tells people what to look for, like go and find houses that are vacant or abandoned. And once you get in there, after you've been in there X amount of days, they can't kick you out. Come to America and do this.
I did see that video.
And then he did one about stealing vehicles that are alongside. This guy is like doing videos on TikTok telling people how to come to America and do all these things. I do know this, though, just this last week, because the American public was livid about the squatters video that he made, telling all these other invaders and illegal immigrants to go and just basically squat and steal people's property. And ICE got him and arrested him, and he's now in jail. So that was kind of shocking.
No kidding.
Because the American public just was not having it over property. And I don't know if you've seen this or not, but like in New York and in Texas, because we have a real problem in this country with squatters' rights laws, that squatters have more rights than the homeowners or the property owners do. And so this one woman in New York had a home that she had inherited from her aunt, and it was like over $1 million value. And she was, I think she was fixing it up to either sell it or to rent it. I don't remember, but her name was on the deed and everything. It's her home. Squatters got into the house, changed the locks so she couldn't get in. So she goes and waits. They leave. She brings in a locksmith and changes the locks on the door.
Good for her.
And takes the home back over. The squatters come back, can't get in their house, call the police, and the police arrest her.
What?
The homeowner. Oh, absolutely.
I have
absolutely
never
the truth.
understood the logic behind squatters. I've never understood that.
This happened. It's all on video. It was unbelievable. And it's a problem with these squatters' laws across the United States. I will say this, Ron DeSantis in Florida, the minute these stories started breaking, he immediately went to his legislators and said, change the law right now in the state of Florida. And he did. He changed it. He's like, squatters have no rights, which every state in the union should be doing that.
Absolutely.
I don't know where our Governor Holcomb is at or what our laws are.
I've never
local.
understood the logic behind it to begin with.
Right.
Why do we think that
I
would have
have
been a
no
good
idea.
idea?
What's the law about protecting your home, the
Your
home
domicile
or
or-
the palace? You know which I'm talking about. It was passed before we retired.
Yeah.
So I think that probably has a lot to do with it here in Indiana. So I don't know. We never dealt with squatters when we were on the department.
It's unbelievable. I hope the state of Indiana, I don't know, we'll have to look into that. You guys would be able to read the law better than me, but I hope the state of Indiana does not protect squatters.
Please.
Because this is going to become an even bigger problem. It's going to trend. There's no question. So, absolutely nuts. But thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
And
I hope it never happens to anyone else. But
you
if
got
it
the
does,
car fixed.
Yeah, we do.
He's still driving it, and that's all good. But just be aware that things that like this happen, and the end of the story might not be what you expect it to be as far as it coming
you'll feel more
your
like
way.
You'll feel more like the suspect,
perpetrator.
Yep, than the victim.
And that's not the way it should be.
It's
Not
not
cool.
the way, and that's kind of the way things are going now in the United States.
Yep.
I think as Americans, it's time, and I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for our voices to be heard.
Stand up.
Talk to your representatives.
Yep.
Call your senator. Call your congressman or woman and say, we've had enough. You work for us.
Yep.
We all need to be doing that. And
Right.
I don't know why we're not, but I'm telling you, we're losing our country. So, and pray, because God is in control. He's on the throne. And no matter what happens, we know who really does win in the end.
Yeah.
And I'm on his side.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Have a great rest of your Friday. If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back in here next Friday to do it all again at the General Store.